All right, so it's Con Carne. It's Quarantine Con Carne. The car is in the garage for the foreseeable future. We're all in the garage for the foreseeable future. We have the shelter-at-home edict order about to take place. I'm James Van Osdell. It is Con Carne, joined across the city in her own safe, COVID-19 free
hopefully
home. I have Danielle from Impulsive Hearts joining me. Thank you for doing this. Can I completely audible as we start this?
Yes.
Okay, so in the time of pandemic, we're all kind of figuring out things where we're making stuff up as we go, such is the case with this podcast. So I very quickly needed to figure out a new way to keep Con Carne going. I'm like, okay, I've got to do a video podcast. I've got to do it nightly. I changed everything, and I quickly segued to this Zoom, like this is something that businesses use. It's a web conferencing tool. We started to record tonight. We recorded an entire podcast, and then I realized after we disconnected and as I started to edit, oh shit, I didn't have the correct microphone configured, so it sounded terrible. Like it was unusable, the entire podcast. And I had that awful thought. I'm like, do I just tell her I lost it, it's dead, it can't come back? Or do I just kind of casually say, hey, I'm embarrassed, and maybe she'll find it in her heart to say, do you want to do it again? And you did.
And a part of me was like, maybe this is his nice way of being like, man, that was really awful.
Oh, no, it was great. It was great.
Like,
No.
I was like,
But,
no. That's good.
I was incredibly embarrassed. I'm like, oh, come on. I've been doing this for a long time, but new software, new circumstances. It's a time of a freaking pandemic. Things happen. So thank you for your graciousness, Danielle, for doing this not once, but twice tonight.
Happy to.
But this will be even better than the last time, don't you think?
All the kinks are out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Any embarrassing things I won't say this time.
You didn't say anything embarrassing, but Con Carne is sponsored by C&H Financial Services. I probably did their read better the last time. Visit freeprocessingnow.com or call 855-600-2437, extension 999, and start saving money today. We sound good, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So I may repeat some questions, but right out of the gate, Cry All the Time is the new album. It is available now. I know you have it handy. Can you show me the visual aid?
Visual. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. I forgot that there's even a pretty little insert, too, but it looks like
Look at that just gorgeous record package. So one of the things we talked about in round one is how to support artists in this pandemic era. No one's touring, no one's playing out. You had a show at Sleeping Village that obviously had to get postponed or canceled. To support you, the independent artist, to support Impulsive Hearts, the best way to do it really is to buy merch, isn't it?
Yeah, for right now. And also merch from Midwest Action too, because they split the record with us. So I know that they were looking forward to hopefully selling a lot at the show, and I don't want them to feel like they're encumbered with records and things like that. So, and I think especially for us, they're a smaller record label, and I think that they took an investment in us too. So it's like, ooh, it's a bad place for everybody to be in. So
it really is. So your Bandcamp page, Impulsive Hearts, at Bandcamp. We can, and let's talk a little bit about the album.
Sure.
Let's talk about that first song, Melody. This is the bright song that kind of walks you into the album. This is, I think, what people would expect of Impulsive Hearts going into the album.
It's like the beachy feel. You got Fallon is playing saxophone, and we recorded in Benton Harbor, Michigan, and then took all of the recordings back to Chicago and kind of worked on them for about a year and a half or so. And with Melody, with Fallon, basically, she's such a quiet, shy individual. And so we were like, just play it just crazy. And so we got her to do the craziest takes, and we, spliced them together, put them together, and have this awesome take of her wailing on the saxophone. That
the sax so nails cool. It for me. Yeah. That really pushes it over. I love the saxophone on the song.
It was so unexpected. That's why I love my band, is just I was like, what do you think you could do with I didn't really have any what do you hear? Just do something, whatever you want, and see what happens. And big musicians. So
Cry All the Time is new. Take me back to the beginning, when this project, when Impulsive Hearts was embryonic,
a little baby.
Uh-huh.
So it started off as Danielle and her drum machine, and it was me with all these garage band sort of beats that I had put together. And I got a Craigslist band, and meaning that they were
Meaning
a
it's a
bunch
band
of,
of hookers.
it's a band of strangers that don't know each other very well. And I met some really great people, and I met some people that don't really want to talk to me so much anymore. So it was like, kind of did that for the first, I guess, couple of, maybe even a year or so, maybe two, of just like getting used to even just playing out, because I hadn't really played out at all. And so then after kind of the Craigslist dump, my two friends, both who now live in Michigan, were kind enough to be like, okay, here's all these demos that you have, and let's work on it. And Dan played drums, and my friend John did bass and all this other like saxophone and stuff on the first record. And it was really like me actually like in a situation kind of like this, where I'm just listening back and listening back to the first record. So I mixed it all myself, recorded it with two mics. Like, it was just wild, crazy. I tore an ACL, and that's what I was doing when I was like recovering from it, was just basically standing in front of sitting in front of a computer and mixing and all that. So the second record, I was like, I have to have somebody else record this. So we recorded with Brian Fox and Madison Moore of Absolutely Not. Um, and so that was really a fun difference. And it's with a bunch of people that are my friends that I've met through Chicago, mostly a lot of girls from Girls Rock, actually. We have our bassist on the record is Doug Hoyer, who's now moved to Canada. And now our violinist on the record is playing bass live. So there's been a lot of kind of like movement in the band. So
Well,
that's
the band sounds great. And
thanks.
going back to that saxophone, I hear it on Fool, and I love that song. Is that kind of a self-flagellating song lyrically?
Oh, it's man, what the fuck is Fool about? It's so hard. Um, it's sort of about, I think, a friendship that at the time I wasn't really. It's so funny because I like write these lyrics, and then I'm just singing them, and I don't really think about what they are. And then later, as I'm like writing them we have them all in the album liner notes. I was
Right.
like, oh, I know what this is about. Like, this is really like, I think it was like I was getting taken advantage by a friend, and it took me a really long time to see it. And then once I saw it, I was like, oh, that's what Fool's about. But then there's like this other lyric that's like, I'm saying that's like, come haunt me. And that's, my grandma had just passed, and I was doing these demos in my house. And so I'm like singing this line that's like, come haunt me, over and over. Then it gets higher and higher as it's going. Um, so it's like about a lot of weird stuff. It's mostly about a friend being a jerk, and my grandma dying in like one kind of song. Which,
And this is one of the things I enjoy about Impulsive Hearts is wrapping up that kind of darkness and the sweet package, the
yeah,
deceptively bouncy, lively
right.
sound.
Because otherwise it's too. I don't know. I have this all kind of the sad songs that, to me, I like kind of keeping them to myself and not really playing them live, because that just becomes so, I don't know, depressing. I don't know. I don't like going out and being like, oh, that was a great. I mean, I do, but like, I feel like I've been less like into wanting to cry in public and things like that. So it's like, I don't really want to do that as a performer. So all the songs are kind of masked in this upbeat,
I get
boppy.
it.
Yeah.
Your voice has a nice depth and range, and certainly you have your own style. When did you find your voice as a
Um,
singer?
like maybe this record more. Yeah, I've always kind of struggled with it. My mom and my dad were both in choirs in high school and stuff like that. So when we were younger, they tried to like get me and my sister to sing like 4-part harmony and things like that. And so I've always been like aware of melody and things like that, but actually kind of coming into my own voice and being like, oh, okay, I can sing, and I can sing pretty loud. And I feel like that's been maybe within the last 3 or so years. And I don't know. I guess I wasn't as aware of it that it could just kind of stand on its own, which was, I'm slowly starting to be like, okay, I don't have to do all of the things and sing. I can just focus on singing and singing correctly, and, you know, put the guitar down, put the piano down,
Yeah.
stop playing accordion, like weird things that try and do at the same time.
We're recording this on Friday, March 20th. Everything feels weird right now.
Sure does.
We're at home. I know you do a lot of working from home, so maybe it's not that unusual for you, but how are you coping or planning to get through the sequestering here?
Yeah, so I mean, I think that the big thing that I'm trying to do is stay calm and not, not freak out, not press the panic button.
Mhm.
I'm fortunate that most people still need therapy. So I'm still
Which
have
is
a
your day
job.
job.
Yeah, so I have that.
I would say probably
Um,
now more than ever. I mean,
yeah,
it's highly stressful, uncertain time.
yeah. And I think the other thing is that I'm trying to get back to, I know it sounds cheesy, but like trying to get back to me, the things that I like to do. I spent like a very long time yesterday just gardening, and I was like, man, this feels good to kind of just get back to this and um, just take time being home and enjoying, the place that I have and the weird neighbors that I have. I'm just trying to be like, uh, I am also working on the demos for the next record. So right now, I think that's going to take up, I think, a lot of time. And right now, I'm excited about it, but I'm excited to also be in the place like 3 months in the future where I'm like, oh,
Right.
I hate all of these songs. And
So
like,
it's almost like enforced woodshedding right now.
yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, and really, and actually just getting my life together too. Like bills, like what are these adult things? And I'm glad that taxes got pushed back, because I was
Oh,
like,
you
I
and me
don't think I
both.
can't, right,
Yeah.
can't mentally process that. And
Yeah. The
having been
independent
talking,
contractor nature of a podcast
it's rough.
makes every tax season a little flesh crawling.
Yeah, yeah, no, I have not mastered the business side of Impulsive Hearts at all, and I don't know. Yeah, it's
I
bad.
get it. I get
Yeah,
it. All right. So Cry All the Time is the new album. You have a guitar handy.
I sure do.
All right. And now, what are you going to play?
Uh, I I think we'll play the same one, since I think we'll play
Well,
Telephone Girl. It's Friday night. Feels right.
so Telephone Girl, this is uh, kind of an outlier on the album. It's a slow burn. It
Yeah.
definitely has a big cinematic feel. The violin adds a nice texture to this. Tell me what it's about.
It's one of those songs that I've written, gosh, a really long time ago. Do you remember that blog Cowbird at all?
I don't.
It was like a weird place that you could put like little writings that you did and little songs and stuff like that nobody read. It was kind of like that. But it went away. But anyway, I was like posting some of these like sad jams on that, and this was one that just really stuck out. Originally, it was just a like church organ that started the song, and there was like back vocals and things like that, but we really stripped it all down so that it sounds kind of chilling. There's a lot of cool effects on the record too, that Jess on violin, like she like does these like, I don't know what she does, but she like plucks the string in a way that sort of makes the skin on the
Hmm.
hair on the back of your neck, just go woof. So it's cool, and that I was really proud of how it turned out. So this is one of those songs that I'm like finding my voice for and getting more
Well,
comfortable.
it's a great song. A super cool video to boot.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, we did that all all within Chicago, all within my house. And all of our videos are so DIY. I don't know. I can't any other way. I love it. So it's
I
like,
totally get it. All right, why don't you get set up,
cool.
and we'll keep this going. I will say, as Danielle's getting set up, if you're watching this anytime before Monday, I'm going to try something that could be incredibly dumb, or it could be incredibly awesome. I don't know yet. I'm going to do what is essentially a town hall version of Carcon Carne on Monday with this software I'm using. It's a video conferencing software that businesses use. It's Zoom, but I have the ability to invite up to 100 guests to be part of a video conference. So what I thought I would do Monday is just leave it open on the Carcon Carne Facebook page. I put the Zoom invitation, the meeting invite. Uh, Feel free to jump on. We're going to be talking about how we're all getting through life under quarantine, and maybe even movies we should all be watching as we're sequestered at home. So join me for that. It could be a train wreck. I've never done anything like this before, but again, life in the time of quarantine, we're making things up as we go. Can you hear me, Danielle?
I sure can.
All right. So you're going to give this a shot. It is Telephone Girl live over business webinar platform Zoom. This is
2020.
This is clearly 2020. All right, I'll let you have at it. It's Quarantine Con Carne.
If I could mend my woes, if I could mend my wires, so you would never be alone on a Friday night. If I could make you mine, if I could make you see that you were always in love, but it was never with me. Oh, you won my heart, I gave it openly, but when you tore it all apart, when you tore it all apart, you did it right on key. You did it right on key. Even when you're miles away, even when nothing to say, even when nothing to prove, you know, babe, I still love you. I love you. Ooh, 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 ooh. Ooh, 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 I love you.
That was so awesome. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, totally.
And as we mentioned earlier in the podcast, not the first time you did it tonight over webcast. So thank you. That was super cool of you. You sound amazing. Again, Impulsive Hearts, Cry All the Time is the new album. You can support Impulsive Hearts, buy their stuff on Bandcamp, a value at any price, really. And then once we're out of this, once we're allowed out of our homes, we could stand closer than 6 feet away from one another. I look forward to seeing you play live.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And
Thank you for doing
having
this.
me on it. Yeah.
Oh, are you kidding? My pleasure. You've been light and very patient and tolerant of me too. Quarantine Con Carne, sponsored by CNH Financial Services. Danielle, thank you.
Thank you so much.